Happy screen time and thank you for subscribing for daily Pokemon Sleep Row tomfoolery. But today we're going to get serious about dish strength. I'm going to arm you with the vocabulary you need to understand all of the numbers involved. And while there will be some numbers, we are only going to get a little mathy. Let's start out as simple as possible. One single bean sausage. And we'll work our way up from there. Just like every berry has a base strength value, each ingredient also has a strength value. But while berries level up with a Pokemon, the strength of the ingredients stays the same. But we're going to explain how we get from that little tiny ingredient number up to those giant dish strength numbers you see people posting about online. Unlike berries, which can be fed directly to Snorlax, ingredients can only be fed during a meal. Now let's look at our one bean sausage. The value of one bean sausage is 103. You might have seen this number floating around above a pot with a bean sausage while your meal was cooking, and we'll explain that later too. So 2 bean sausages, 103 plus 103 is 206. 3 bean sausages is 309, etc. And although it would be nice if we could just say that's it does get more complex than this. But the good news is that everything I'm about to tell you is only going to add more Snorlax strength. You can't be a bad cook in this game, or as I like to say, it's all good, because you can't make it worse. We will follow that pattern of adding the strength together up until we get to 7 bean sausages. Now, if we are in a salad or a dessert week, that pattern is going to continue at 721 strength. But if it's a curry week, suddenly those bean sausages come out to 856 strength. So where did an extra 135 strength come from? Alright, we're gonna get a little mathy. If we divide 135 strength by 7 bean sausages, we get 19-ish, which means that 19-ish strength was added to our bean sausages. 103 plus 19-ish is 122-ish, and it just so happens that this 122-ish is equal to 103 times 7 times 119%. So a 19% bonus was added during curry week that wasn't being added during the others. Well, those 7 bean sausages make a recipe during curry week called bean burger curry. So bean burger curry adds a 19% bonus to the ingredients that we cook. This bonus that comes from having a recipe is called the recipe bonus. Crazy, right? You will never actually see this recipe bonus in the game, but using everything you're going to learn in this video, you can reverse engineer your dish strength calculation to figure out the recipe bonus, or if you want to know what it is for a certain recipe, you can just look it up online, because other people have already done the math. There are currently 7 levels of recipe bonus in the game, and the lowest one is the one we just mentioned, 19%. A recipe bonus could also be 20, 21, 25, 35, 48, or 61%. Each recipe already has a bonus determined. You can't change it, and you can't change the value of your ingredients. So when we combine those together, we get a new metric called base strength, the value of the ingredients added together times the recipe bonus. And it might go without saying, but just to make sure we're being thorough, when you're not using a recipe and you make a mixed curry, salad, or juice, these things don't have a base strength. It is just the value of the ingredients added together. No recipe, no bonus. I like to imagine that this is the kind of work that's going on all the time in Neroli's lab. They just have Snorlaxes that they keep stuffing with ingredients until they figure out that it grew a little more than they were expecting, and then they publish the recipe list in our field guides. At least that's how it should be going, and we shouldn't have to figure them out ourselves. Ingredients that you add to a pot that are not part of the recipe do not benefit from the recipe bonus. So, using our bean burger curry example, if I added the 7 bean sausages to make the curry, and then added 1 more bean sausage, that bean sausage would only be 103 strength for the dish. And again, this is the ingredients and the numbers that you see floating around above the pot, but we'll come back to when those get calculated into the dish strength later. Generally speaking, the recipes that require more or rarer ingredients are the ones that also have higher recipe bonuses. Okay, let's get back to base strength, which again is the value of the ingredients times the hidden recipe bonus. You might think that the base strength is the number that appears in the little orange box next to a recipe, and you'd be close, but technically the base strength is never displayed in the game, because before you cook a recipe, you see question marks there, and the recipe levels up the first time you make it. This little orange box with a number is the recipe strength, which includes the base strength, but multiplied by the level bonus. The level bonus roughly correlates to how much you've cooked a particular meal, but we'll get more specific for those who want to know. It's probably not worth remembering or keeping track of the exact values of the level bonus. Here's the trick I use to keep track of a general sense of what it is. Some of you can zone out for this, and I'll tell you when to zone back in. You just have to remember the numbers 27 and 53. We will name this the Sandshrew Sandshrew-Persian method because of their national dex numbers. And I haven't heard anyone else give a tip like this, so you heard it here first, guys. 52% is the added bonus at level 27, and 27 times 2 is 52. 159 is the added bonus for level 53, and 53 times 3 is 159. So you can think of it like this. Between levels 27 and 53, the added bonus is between 2 and 3 times the level number. Less than 27 means that the added bonus is less than 2 times the level, and over 53 means that the added bonus is more than 3 times the level. And the closer you are to those levels, the closer the bonus is to those numbers. Time to wake up, class, zone back in. Level bonuses increase as you cook dishes, and each level requires more and more experience. The amount of experience the dish gets when you cook comes from the total dish strength, which is the last and easiest thing to learn. The dish strength is the number that shows when you actually cook the dish. It's the number that gets directly added to Snorlax's strength, and as we just mentioned, it gets added as experience to level up the dishes. Obviously, this number is bigger than the recipe strength, the orange box number. So how do we finally arrive at that dish strength? Finally, we are going to add in the values of those extra ingredients that are not part of the recipe. So each of those ingredient values are added to the recipe strength. Then there is one guaranteed and 2 potential multipliers to consider. The guaranteed multiplier comes from your area bonus. If your area bonus is 5%, the multiplier is 105%. If your area bonus is 60%, then the strength is multiplied by 160%. Pretty straightforward. But unfortunately, that means your first week in a new area gets no bonus. The first potential multiplier is called Extra Tasty. This is completely based on RNG, meaning there's a random chance it will happen. But if you get Extra Tasty Monday through Saturday, multiply the dish by 2 times at that point. And on Sunday, multiply it by 3 times. No pattern of tapping or ingredient balance in the dish affects it being extra tasty. But every time I see that exclamation point, my brain tries to tell me, this is what we did right this time. You get that endorphin release, and then your brain is like, I want to do that again. Here's how we got here. But your brain is wrong. Or maybe that's just me. The only way to increase the chance of an extra tasty is by using the main skill Tasty Chance S. And the 2 Pokemon with this in the game right now are Dedenne and Cramorant. The last potential multiplier comes from events. Sometimes events have additional multipliers applied to the dish strength at this point, but you'll have to go read the event details of each event to figure that out. And that's all you need to know. But here's one more pro tip, which we have referenced a lot lately, but that now you have all the context for. Of the numbers that are at play here, the one that you have the most control over and that has the biggest impact is the area bonus multiplier. So if you want to increase your dish levels, go to wherever you have the highest area bonus. And last but not least, I've made this thing that you can screenshot to help you remember what we've talked about today. If you found this information useful, please take a moment to like the video. It did take some time to put all of this together and get you that resource. But whether you like it or not, it's time for Session 448, which will take place on Old Gold Power Plant, even though we are now on Greengrass Isle. It doesn't make sense that we can time travel in this game, but that if you change your clock to try to cook a dish at a different time, the game gets mad at you. I went to bed a little earlier than I have lately, but still got plenty of slumbering sleep, but I know that there's plenty of dozing sleep in the near future because our family is getting ready to experience the miracle of life. This could happen any day now. And just a note on our programming, there may be a future day where I miss doing a video, and it's probably because I'm in the hospital supporting my wife, because if I put this game first, I probably won't have one anymore. Okay, well, we have a Grubbin belly topper, and I can never say Grubbin's name right when I see him. A Wooper and a Quaxwell hanging around. Then we've got a Butterfree, Shinx, Geodude, a Pichu, a Caterpie, and a Aron. And I can't believe they make us sit through that counting, which is why I have plenty of time to tell a story and tell you about these spawns. And now that we're all awake, we're gonna find out who wants breakfast. It's Geodude! I mean, also, it's Aron! Oh wow, so Aron is our final good camp ticket Pokemon, and Geodude just hasn't been eating, I guess. Do you wake up hungry every day, or are you a skip breakfast kind of person? I wake up hungry, so I feel like every Pokemon should. I attracted them here with how I slept, so why not have them align with how I feel hunger-wise? Alright, we're passing up the guaranteed catch on the Geodude for a guaranteed Aron catch today. We have the premium biscuit, so we might as well. And how often are we going to see a hungry Aron? After this week, we're probably not going to see a wild Aron until next year. That's my own prediction about my own account because I don't think we'll be back here. So we had Grubbins and a Shinx that we could have gone after, but since he was hungry, I just went ahead and rolled the dice on the Aron Grubbin. We will though go get some Poke Biscuits and try to feed Geodude, just because he is hungry and because he could be an insta golem. Now that I've realized this, I'm like, sure, keep hunting a Geodude. Geo ahead, make my day. I have an ABA Meowscarada that we've shown on the channel before, and it is my best level 27 potato farmer right now, but it's going to take a massive investment to jump it up to level 60, where it will be excellent at producing potatoes, but I wouldn't be mad if we found an ABB Geo Golem to be using in the meantime, and then my Meowscarada could change careers to be a milk farmer. I also didn't react, but I'm super annoyed at being all full. I'm a premium player, don't you know? I deserve it! No, I don't actually feel that way. It's just part of the game. I did decide though to drop a Poke Biscuit on Grubbin and then to go buy one more to drop on the Shinx. I do have the incenses that we're leaving this island with, and I'm thinking that I might use some of them on Greengrass Isle next week, and these will be prepped so that if they do show up hungry, they can be caught into Poke Biscuits, or we can drop the premium ones on it. Basically, we can just consider our next Shinx and Grubbin pre-caught because they're not going to show up without incenses on Greengrass Isle, so there's no risk of using the incense and getting it all full, at least for the next one. As far as the candies go, there are obviously a lot of spawns here today. The Caterpie line is probably the bottom of the list. Grubbin is the top of the list, followed by a tie for Shinx and Aron, followed by a tie for the Paldean starters, then Pichu, then the bottom feeders. I'm so sorry. I can tell that I'm losing a lot of energy in this video. I'll admit it. I'll own it. You know I'll keep it real. No sense in layering to you. Here comes the Iron Man. Hopefully we don't have to put him in the can. Oh, we do have to put him in the can. Well, we know we have high standards for what we want in a Aron. Of course. Oh my gosh. Okay, seriously, what is the deal? Just give me 3 bean sausages. I would have totally used this thing. And I am just cracking myself up thinking about how stupid this game has been lately to me. Okay, no, I got a great Grubbin. We got a Grubbin. We were making it out of the week with the Grubbin. We did it. We had a lot of chances at stuff. We have just seen ABC so many times on so many of these Pokemon. And I am not that player. I am just not. Thanks for watching. Let's do this again sometime. Happy researching.